So this bike has a couple of niggles. As you can see, the first one is the low end torque. So I'm in second gear now. The bike feels jittery. Whenever you reach the hump, you need to downshift to first to actually get hold of the bike. You see, if I go in second, it feels jittery. Again, I need to come down to first, get rid of the hump, and then it starts riding properly. The second issue is see, I want to kind of move in a constant speed like this, so I'm keeping the RPMs around 2000, but then you see the bike tends to struggle. It feels a little bit confused about the fueling, so it feels a little bit jittery. Even if I increase the RPMs, that jitteriness still exists. So see, in this traffic situations, it gets a tad bit difficult to kind of maintain the bike in second gear. See, it starts knocking. So this is how it works. Now, the third issue I face is specifically with the quick shifter. So I'm just trying to see if I can get a open patch, because quick shifts will need continuous shifts, and I don't want any traffic coming from front or the back. Yeah. Right, so second gear. Yeah, so I'm using the quick shifts now. Third, fourth. Yeah, so it works. Sometimes it's working now, but then let me go for a second round. So what's happening over here is when I try to quick shift at a relatively low RPM, the bike actually knocks. Right? I'm not using the clutch, it knocks. I won't be able to give you an exact idea because the feedback that you get on your handlebars says it all. But yeah, so the first issue, compulsory coming down to second or first, and the third issue is, when you're trying to maintain a speed, the fueling feels a bit jittery, the bike tends to struggle. And third issue, as I said, is the quick shifter. Right? So I'll just go for another round. Out of all these three issues, the first one is the major one that I feel. Every hump you need to come down to second or first, depending on what RPM you're riding the bike in. See, first starts jittery. Now, this is an issue which I am trying to resolve, hopefully resolve, using FuelX. Yeah, I'm keeping it at 2,500 RPMs. If I try using the quick shifters, the bike feels a little bit jittery about things. I mean, it actually thinks, it thinks twice before shifting. You see now, second gear, and it starts struggling. Especially if a rider is upgrading from, smaller bikes. I have a 125cc bike, and the engine is quite a bit torquey. I've never faced this issue before. So I have kind of quickly hopped on my 125cc bike. So just to show you guys what kind of experience this low powered engine has. So I'm in second gear now, and it's just a breeze to ride this bike. Third gear, again, second gear, absolutely no issues, no jittery engines, no jittery fuels. See, this is the second gear, and it's easily kind of taking over the bumps. Now this is the first gear again, so it starts screaming. Now I'm trying to hover at around 4,000 RPM for 30 kilometers per hour, and the bike is just kind of moving smoothly. Yeah, so no jitteriness. I'm in third gear, and see what happens. I'm taking over the bump. I'm also taking a turn, and it just crazily kind of picks up from here. I didn't even go to second gear. It's in third gear now. I'm easily able to ride this the way I want. Again, a hump, third gear, shifting to fourth, coming back to third. Okay, I'll need to come to second now because there's a turn over here. Yeah, so fourth, you see, it's picking up quite well in the fourth gear itself. Fifth, and that's it. This just has 5 gears. So these smaller capacity bikes are torquey, easy to handle, are quite heavy when it comes to the power is to weight ratio, at least in India. But yet they don't have these fueling issues. Of course, this doesn't have the quick shifter, so I can't do that quick shifter test over here. So it's just the first 2 problems on the KTM 390 Adventure which I would like to compare with the smaller bike. Again, it's not a justified or valid comparison, so it's more about riding experience that I'm trying to compare. So you see, I'm constantly in third gear. There's no issues at all. Just need to shift down to second in these turns and use a little bit of clutch, and the bike just takes off smoothly. So this is something which I'm trying to resolve on the KTM 390 Adventure using the FuelX Lite module, and hopefully that would actually kind of even out things. See, again, in this turn second gear, but on the 390 Adventure I had to use or kind of shift down to the first gear to tackle that turn. So there was a speed bump and then a turn, so I need to come down to the first gear every time in those situations. Whereas on this 125cc bike, it's 11 bhp kind of bike. Torque I'm not sure about, I'll put that on the screen. Weight, I'll put that on the screen, again not very sure about. It should be around 130 kilos. So you can calculate the power is to weight ratio. 11 bhp, 130 kilos, so it's not that good in terms of international standards, but yet it is pretty sufficient to kind of do your daily commutes smoothly. Yeah, so that's it. That was a quick test using my 125cc bike to kind of benchmark the KTM 390 Adventure's low end torque issue, and of course the fueling issue. So I might be saying 125, of course it's the 135cc. The bike has been eating dust for quite some time now. I haven't ridden it. You see that one as well, a lot of dust. All right, this is the second attempt with the Osmo Action 4. Testing the FuelX Lite. I hope the camera is recording properly. So the FuelX is connected over here. I'm not sure if you can see that plug, green plug. So this is kind of an after installation video, so that you guys can do a before and after comparison regarding FuelX. So already seeing some improvements. The jitteriness in the fueling is completely gone. So on that front, FuelX is working fine, as I see. But then a major issue was the low end torque. Now the thing is, what I'm seeing is, as I tackle these humps, the bike is actually moving smoothly without any issues on these humps, which earlier it kind of didn't. So the fueling felt jittery. The vibes that the bike gave was not that inspiring. It felt like it would stall, but then now all those things have completely gone. So now if you see on this hump, I'm around 20 and it is ready to tackle it without any issues. I can take a turn in second gear again without any issues. Everything seems to be working fine. So yeah, and so I guess one major problem is resolved. The fueling is working properly now without any jitteriness, and everything feels smooth even over the humps. Regarding low end torque, that is frequent gear changes, I am not seeing any noticeable improvements. So I still need to change the gears at lower RPMs. Maybe a marginal kind of improvement. So still need to change gears quite frequently. That's what I feel from this. I'm trying to use quick shifter now. Don't see any improvements in quick shifter. Again, smoothness is there, marginal improvement, not much of a major difference as I see, at least up front. So I kind of used to test or tested the quick shifter on this patch, so I'll wait for the traffic to kind of give me some way. Alright, it's open now and we can go. So what I'll do is I'll try using the quick shifter. See, everything works smoothly once, sometimes it doesn't. Let's downshift and see what happens. Yeah, in this instance it's working fine, but again, this was the same case even without the FuelX. So I don't think FuelX does any magic with the quick shifter. So that thing is gone. I mean, that point is out of consideration now. Let's quickly go back to that road, and so that I can compare, or you can compare what the FuelX does in terms of fueling. I mean, in terms of fueling and that jitteriness, again, as I can't stress enough, everything is working smoothly now. I'm happy with it. But then the low end torque issue remains. That is something which I guess I will need to kind of either adjust my riding style to it, or maybe find some other solution. Maybe go for this Duke sprocket, which I am not a huge fan of. I kind of don't like to meddle with the internal parts of the bike. So let's wait for a few minutes so that this guy kind of goes, and then see what happens. See, this is the problem with this bike. It attracts a lot of attention. I mean, it's just a 390cc bike. If it were a Duke, no one would have seen it. But this because of this height and this presence, a lot of people kind of get attracted to it, and that is something which I don't like a lot. Or maybe it's the Osmo Action camera which I've mounted on my helmet. Who knows? Anyways, so again, I'm hovering in the third gear, no jitteriness as such, everything's working smoothly. I'll downshift to second here and see if the bike can move. Yeah, problem solved. It's smooth, moving very smoothly. I don't need to change the gear. I'm not even pressing the accelerator, maybe just now because there was traffic. Sorry, pressing the clutch. I think this scenario is the best to explain, the difficulty of maintaining the bike in lower gears in cities. Well, one thing which I realize is, even if I go to first gear, there's some kind of improvement. I mean, the FuelX kind of magically adjusts the fueling, I guess, to my riding style. So even in first gear, I'm not feeling that hesitancy like before. It's not revving high, making me uncomfortable. So definitely an improvement on that front.